Okay, this is going to be good. Welcome back, everybody. We are Aquarius. I am me. He is he. You are you. X, Y, and Z. That's all you got to say. Um, so, Brad, we were just talking about a few things. You were just going to mention ocean stuff, but you were talking about gambling, and I kind of wanted to get into that idea because it just like brought up a whole list of things. Like people are gambling with other people's money, and that's how our system was kind of built to be made for what it is right now. But what you said before is corporatism, and I'd have to say, from some degree, we have to find a way to make a system where we're without that, because I think the corporatism that we have is kind of destroyed a lot of things. If we can get back to that honor system, remember when we were talking about the honor system and all that in a
Live by
past, like,
merit. That's how I say I
and
live every day.
and that's how we used to live for a long time. And I've mentioned this to some other people that were on the left side. I was like, we probably, going back to a bartering system would be a good thing. And they're like, oh, it's like, but that is kind of what we did for the most part of, humanity.
Well,
Only,
I'm all about
you know,
people who are in relationships with the other, owning businesses, and hey, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. I don't I don't necessarily like the idea so much where it gets into like, hey man, you buy almost everything I get. I make a little bit of extra money on the top of it, and you do all the main work with the material that I'm producing. And like you've basically undercut any other person from getting that deal because you had enough money to start a business, and you're basically profiting from doing it through my own profits of selling it. And you know what I mean? Like, and you're doing this from other places. Now you've got tons of different houses because you've contracted so many builders because you have it just that gets into a whole nother level of how I feel about things. But I love small businesses helping each other out. And like, hey, I make you free lunch every day if you service my car when I need it, and
I think there
stuff
could be
like
a,
that.
I think there could be a cure to the system that if we set in place certain laws that once you start a corporation, you can make up to a certain amount, but you need a certain amount to be able to have your business to grow. So if you have enough money, you want to build another business over here. Let's say have Frank's mechanic shop, right? But it gets really, really popular, and people want to keep coming back because my service is good. I need to have enough money to build another building at another location, so I could be like, okay, we'll train those guys over there and we'll have two places because people actually enjoy what I'm doing for them. You have to have some kind of build up fund to be able to build another area to
Well,
grow
I
your
I kind
system
of
and stuff.
agree with you on this.
But on the top of that, you could have some kind of system that's like, okay, after this certain amount of money that you make, like a percentage versus the people that are underneath you, like in a reverse pyramid system, you got the pyramid system where the person at the top's making most, and then you got a reverse pyramid system where like it's set in a law that if these people are making this much, then you should have some kind of savings for this, but those people at the bottom should have like a wider savings in order to
Yeah, it
save the
should it shouldn't be in your
business.
bank account. It
But
should
it
be
but
in the
it
business's account
it
where they
it
can cover almost everything through what you have.
Yeah, but then a reverse pyramid system where the bottom tier system is set so that there is almost a huge amount, almost like what you're making at the top, to be able to give to the people at the bottom or give to be able to grow the business at the bottom, and so the business can grow the business even better.
All right,
So
here's
the
an example of
business
what I'm thinking.
sustains itself and is able to give to those people, like let's say somebody has an injury or something like that, the business itself should be able to have the amount of money to cover
Here
the people at the bottom
here's what I'm
without
thinking.
having to to
Amazon fulfillment
you know
centers is the perfect example of this. These giant buildings that hold an immense amount of stuff, right? From here to there, these buildings hold it. Some are more capable of holding certain things than others are, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. The bottom line is Amazon complains all the time they don't have enough space. They don't have enough space. These giant buildings, but it doesn't matter. There's so much stuff. People, they don't have enough space. You know why that is? It's not a question of there's not enough space in the universe or at least on the earth. of, where you can house all this stuff. The problem is that you want these huge buildings and you want everything to be able to fit in there. You've created the dimensions of the space. There's tons of buildings all around everywhere that are in cities and stuff. You could have connected a few and, bought out a bunch of people and made nice little centers that aren't that big. Maybe they don't hold everything, but hey, 5 blocks down, there's another one and they can hold everything else that maybe that one couldn't. And, and maybe even down the line, you can start orchestrating, hey, this area has these things, so we keep it in stock here. It just gets sent there and more algorithm.
What you're saying, dude? What you're saying, dude, is there
buying this giant place and having the most minimum amount of people it needs to run the whole thing.
Yeah, what you're trying to say.
Stupid. It's stupid.
I just want to interject is what you're trying to say is they have a bad quartermaster. They don't know how to fit everything perfectly.
Well, they
don't have the logistics to be able to be like, hey, let's buy that little that abandoned place over there so we can actually like put the stuff in that store. No, we want our own thing. Well, that's great and that's nice, but if you already have your own thing and you still need extra space, buy that little extra space
and that's what I'm saying.
For however long you need it for, and use it for however long you need it for. Once you're done, sell it.
But financially, that's not a good investment. Financially, you're going to have to sink millions or billions for Amazon's level of dollars into all these businesses, all these buildings.
How?
But that's the whole point. Well, of course you would. I mean, it's going to cost to renovate in all those places and all that kind of stuff. Of course it would.
You wouldn't do that.
It would cost a lot of money. No, it would cost billions.
Not that much. It would cost more to build a whole new location. To plow down a whole new area and build up a whole new pole barn building would cost more than it would to just rent out the place. All they have to do is rent out
all those places anyway.
They could rent out the place.
Maybe.
They could rent out the place, and then that's all they do. They just rent out the place.
But you still have to have like metal detectors and all that kind of stuff, unless you're dealing with like simple stuff and low level. Oh, that's a low level clearance and only the high level clearance in one area of town that has like more.
But I'm just saying from an architectural standpoint, you can easily retrofit certain things like
right. But I'm not looking at the architectural point.
Some
I'm
designs,
looking at the technology point and the amount of metal and framing and changing of how it looks inside to make sure it's accessible for everybody. I mean, you're gonna have to do a lot of renovation as well as a lot of because you're not going to want them to look necessarily different. People are probably going to have to get told to go to different ones all the time. Hey, this one needs more people today.
It's the same thing with an architectural point. You're trying to retrofit something to work in a different way. Most buildings can work like that. If you need an overhead crane, that's something you have to install afterwards because
they would all need like a drive.
I've worked with places that had but that's the whole point. If you're picking a building, you're going to pick a building with a drivable entrance to it. You're not going to pick a building. You're not going to pick like a bakery that has no like drivable port to it.
A lot of those places, a lot of the places that are already built that are that big enough anyway. I'm talking about like minusculely like smaller. There are abandoned buildings that you can find on different areas.
Oh yeah,
you could just basically renovate like a large portion of it.
Yeah, I'm just saying like from a perspective that what you're trying to say, it makes sense, and what I'm trying to say, I'm trying to help with this is that sometimes scavenging can help more than trying to make a whole new building. And I think the fact is there's too many people that have too much money out there. They're like, oh, we're going to make this whole new area. Just what I'm saying. Just find a place that you can scavenge and use.
Then
all you have to do is fix a couple things.
How much Jeff Bezos would have been a legend if he would have fixed up our entire like bad areas with his buildings everywhere. And
that's all they'd have to really do.
Clean it all up, look nicely, people, and made the bottom ground a public place for people, and only everything above is it started as a bookstore.
Okay, let's say
and chat.
Let's say there's a building that's 100, 200 years old. Okay, that maybe you want to bulldoze that, or maybe you want to like put more reinforcing areas within the concrete or the brick or mortar or whatever. But for the most part, these people don't think about the scavenging aspect as far as like picking a location. Like, okay, it's not as perfect as we want, but it's close, and it's like 8 times cheaper than anything we were going to do. And yes, it doesn't look perfectly brand new, but it's just going to, fit the little niche thing we need for right now. No, that sort of thing, that's what a lot of people at the top don't understand. And I've had to actually tell some people like this that were at the top in some corporations when I worked for, specifically one corporation I worked for, and he liked the ideas that I had to give to him. It comes down to the fact that they just think all these grandiose ideas, and they get lost in this grandiose idea, and they're going to make something really good, and they want to put their name on it and stamp a platinum stamp approval, blah blah blah. But the fact is, if you're trying to work for something, this is where it comes down to. It ruins the environment. There's more waste being thrown away into the environment versus something you could just take right now and retrofit a couple things and use it now.
People would go to New York City to see the Statue of Liberty, the Eiffel, is it the Eiffel Towers there, right? Isn't it the Eiffel? Or the Empire State Building, right?
The big green woman.
The Empire State Building.
Hecate. Hecate. I think that's what she is.
But the thing was, the average person would walk in New York and be like, this place is just dirty. There's druggies and all that. And along comes Trump, who wants to fix up things. You can't pay for it in the long run. But that's not the point. You just make the money back on it as quickly as possible, and then you just don't keep putting more money into it. When you already know you're not going to make more. Once the people who paid the money to see it have seen it, nobody comes back. They want to go to the next thing. Right now, Dubai's what's in. You know what I mean? But I guarantee, as flashy and as technology as Dubai is, if another country builds a new theme park roller coaster ride with everything kicks and tricks, people are going to go because it's new and they haven't been there. And what do they have that the other one doesn't? Even if the other one's almost exactly the same, you still end up going to want to go and be like, I've been to Dubai. I haven't been to New Zealand. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, so I'm just saying the money goes, look what they're saying, that China is using Africa now as like they're trying to build a base there. They're trying to build the military front there. Of course you would. You want to be on both sides.
They want to have the terror, but that's the thing that comes on the military. We're talking about corporatism here and all that, but
it's not connected anymore.
It's going to get connected, and that's the thing that people want to call the other side fascist or communist. The fact is, fascism is government tied to corporations. That's what it is. That's ultimately what it is.
Yeah,
and
fascism is corporatism in a sense,
and they're tied together. And this is what happened back in it. Remember what happened with England? The separated church and state. We need to separate corporations and government. That's what we need to do. But the reason we've had all this dirty money floating around for a long time is because it's a little bit of government officials are all tied to this.
So many governments write books, and I never even see them. Like, I never see these books that they all write.
They're in the library somewhere. Buried with all the other books.
That's what I mean. Like, it's like you write a book, and it's like, oh, well, we have to buy that and put it in every single like public thing that we have. How many copies should we get? 1,000? You got it. And it's like, how many buildings do we put it in?
Like what I wrote down the other night, and I even told you this too, but once people become government, these people become cancer. And it's just the thing. It's the way it is, because the fact is we need to have, a lot of people say we should have more government, but more government creates more problems. Because more government forces.
We don't need government. We need leadership.
Government forces everybody to do the same thing. They're like, what about the minorities? Government doesn't give a shit about the minorities. Government forces everything on everybody, as you can see with the vaccine mandates. It's going to go beyond that, way beyond that. It's going to be like, oh, you walked out your house without telling
it's going to be like, your kid's 5, they're getting vaccinated.
What was a monitor? What was the hall pass monitor guy in school? You're gonna walk outside your apartment and you'll be like, you walked outside and you didn't tell your hall monitor for your apartment? Oh no, you're getting a ticket for that. That's
But
what's
I'm very
that's
annoyed.
what's in our future.
I
That's what's
watched
in
the
our
White
future
House
because of
have this
government.
person talk to children about, and I don't know, maybe those children are actors too. I don't know. But this doctor talked to the children about the vaccine and all that. And again, it's just like you act like it's just such propaganda. You act like it's just a miracle drug. Like it's going to prevent you from ever getting
But then
sick
everybody's afraid of the
from
unvaccinated.
COVID.
It does, like if this was the perfect pure thing that worked all the time, you wouldn't be afraid of anything.
It's
You'd be
why
like,
would the children even
I'm
why would you
saved.
want the
I'm
children to get
saved.
vaccinated?
You
All
know?
right. First off, all right, here's the thing. Why would you want the children to get vaccinated? Because first off, we already know vaccines don't matter in transmissibility. So giving the child the vaccine is still going to mean when they go visit grandpa in the home, they're
They're
going to
gonna give
pass it
him
if they have it.
yeah. And
Okay.
like, well, it's
So
it's
you need
a
grandpa to have the
non-lethal
vaccine.
version of
Okay.
it.
No one's disputing grandpa should have the vaccine. Nobody disputes that. But why give the kid the vaccine? Aren't you wanting them to get natural immunity? Don't you want them to just get a little sick now and then?
But that's
If it's
the
not
whole
deadly at that age,
the
let
point
them
is
get the
there
sickness.
people aren't using
Let them be
actual
immune.
science
So
anymore.
by the time they're older, doesn't even matter if they have the vaccine. They're immune to that. All the strands. It doesn't matter anymore. They've got the root cause down. That's how our body works. Why would you want to give it to kids? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense because the fact is it comes down to money. The people that are
Money.
the person that sells things says that you should have more things, right? Doesn't it come down to that? Oh, I sell things, you should have more things because it'll make me money. Some people are thinking the vaccine's free. Oh yeah, it doesn't cost anything at all. It doesn't cost them anything at all. They pro bono this stuff. They find this floating in the air. They grab it.
There's a whistleblower.
They put it
Someone
into a
wants to say
syringe.
something
And,
about
you
it.
know,
Oh, that same company now
bullshit.
wants to shut that whistleblower up. Oh, that whistleblower doesn't have the right to say this kind of stuff. We're in a government contract. That whistleblower can't say anything.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt our but it's gonna hurt our
That's gonna cause
line.
problems with everything we're doing. Whistleblowers, we can't have that. No.
I'm
Oh
just saying
wait,
this
these
corporatism that we have right
same
now
people,
is making people
same
insane,
people
dude.
who the same people who what is it? They give 40% to their overseers. The people who are supposed to watch over them, make sure they don't do anything bad, they pay them money. That's almost as crazy as a president's son getting money from a communist country.
Yep.
But hey, he doesn't work for the government. The president's son, flesh and blood, who I love so deeply, who he's so close with. The president's son getting money from a communist country who talks about invading our country and warns the United States not to intervene with its affairs with Taiwan, who's not even Taiwan, it's just China.
Yeah.
I mean, no, if that's the case, then, I think that the United States better start taking back some stuff.
You see the problem that we have with this? We can't, because of all this corporatism and stuff, we can't point fingers at anybody because sometimes the finger's being pointed at an entity that isn't even real. If we have things tied to people in some sense, like, okay, you're directly involved with this. It's directly your responsibility. You're getting sued, not your corporation. Because the corporations basically stop you from getting sued. You can sue the corporation for the thing. You can sue the entity of what it is, but you can't sue the person itself. Back in the day, back in medieval day, when, let's say, somebody had their name tied to this particular thing, they had to sell good product. They had to make sure they didn't lie to somebody, or they would be found out as selling snake oil or selling bad product, and they would have to move and leave, and they wouldn't be able to make any more money. People were forced to be truthful with other people because otherwise their livelihood was at stake. This is what we don't have nowadays. You look at all the FDA stuff. Look at all the FDA stuff that A third of the FDA stuff that was approved has been found to give people bad side effects over the course of time. And every 10 years, they find some drug that they were approved and it was so good and back in the day. You're like, oh, if you're turning into an elephant after eating this drug here, we can sue these people, and we're going to get you your money's worth. And that's after 10 years of taking a damn drug and then becoming disabled because of it. And then now what do? You can't do shit because
I see
because of the
so
situation.
Many people buy pills and pills and pills. I don't know, man. I agree. I'm only 35, but I'll never start taking tons. I don't care if my doctor's like, you should take this to lower your blood pressure. I'll probably be like, can I just like exercise more? And if they're like, no, it's too late, you need to take this. I was like, then what the hell have you been doing? You told me I was fine. I'm suing your ass because you told me I was fine. Now I have to take pills in order to survive. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no, like, shouldn't I just keep stretching, maybe meditate more, not get myself angry, and, maybe eat a little bit more healthy or less salts? Like,
find the vegetable that calms you down more. Maybe a tea, maybe a coffee.
I don't know. I've never taken an anti-diarrhea pill. I didn't even know that was a thing. Diarrhea is coming. You can get a pill that'll harden it all up. I mean, why don't you just eat some Cheerios?
Is the pill called shit brick?
Cheerios are an anti-diarrhea pill. I guarantee it.
They're an anti-diuretic.
Don't eat it with milk. Well, maybe, go ahead. Eat it with milk. Not so much heavy cream. Eat it with like some regular 1% though.
Well, we're at 20 minutes here. What do you think? What do you think we should talk about?
End it right at that. Anti-diarrhea.
With corporatism, like, I don't know if you got to get your point out as much. Maybe I'll have to make another one of these here, but
I'm so confused. Are we keeping these or dumping these?
What?
Are we keeping these or dumping these? What are we doing?
Well, we're gonna get this one. This one's pretty decent, I have to say. But what do you think with the corporate thing? What do you think about the corporate system, really?
What do I think with the corporate system? Bill Clinton once tried to put a cap on how much like CEOs could make or something. I thought it was like 1.2 million or something like that. I don't remember. Maybe I'm just talking out my butt. I don't exactly know, but
I think what I'm trying to say was something. What I'm trying to say was something close to that. The CEOs should have a certain amount of money they should place into their business first before they can take that out for themselves. So this,
I agree.
Allocate an allocation point.
If it's that much money
into the business,
then maybe you should be forced to employ more people. I mean, I don't know. I don't care if it means that you want to pay somebody just to outside sweep that, and fix up your place every single time, because it gets, I don't know, it just gets to be the point where, or you should be forced to spending more money on all the businesses and stuff like that. Like, hell, if you want to pay it in gardeners to grow random flowers all around your house and make, around your business and make it beautiful, that's fine. If you want to build a golf course around the entire business that's public accessible, that makes more money, or even private for the people who work there, so be it. That's cool. If you want to keep making a whole gym private for the business that only the employees can go to, that's cool. If you have so much extra money, but what are you doing with it for yourselves? Like, I'm ready to invest.
They're buying a yacht. They're sailing around the world. They're
but they have all that.
They're probably taking drugs from other nations. That's free.
1 billion. Everything you can want is only like $1 billion.
But dude, think about it. Think about it.
Except for like when you get into like.
Think about how different drugs are illegal in other places and things like that. You can't get certain drugs in America. You could get
they keep the money
over in there.
You know why they keep the money? So they can make more money at the drop of a hat with anything. If there's a good investment,
they probably use it at
35 million quick.
But look at how Hollywood is. Look at how much they spend all their money on drugs and stuff.
Hollywood and stuff like that are a whole different game than the real rich. Hollywood are just chumps. that'll do whatever you say for a pinch of the extra money. And really, it's just the extra power.
But think about it. When you have
And
everything,
dudes will do
but
the
just
gayest
but
shit
just
to
think
each other
but just think about
just
it,
so
dude.
they can be in good graces with the ultra rich.
But what I'm trying to get at is when you have everything, what's left there to do? Except for do what every other rich person has done beforehand and just go out of control. You
Make
know,
squid
that's what I'm,
games.
what?
Make squid games. Give a
May,
taste of what you're doing to people. Torture them.
probably go the wrong route, go the bad route. I don't know, man. It's
You think
just
they're going the good route? They
I
know down
I
the line, money won't solve you can give people $1 million, and what do? Half those people who win the lottery go broke. They end up not even having anything. Money doesn't solve the problem. It's teaching people. But in order to do that, like that's what I'm saying, like you're gonna have to go around a lot of ugly people
you
because
know
they
what
have the
you know what it I before we close this off, I have to say that I've heard some people say this. Only buy what you love. That's a bad thing because if you're buying something with the intent of love, you're giving money love. You're basically saying that money and love are. Now I know that you might try to contend it to some degree, but if
high on merit.
if you're buying what you love, it means that it does kind of mean in a soft, subtle way that love and money are tied together. But the fact is, you can never buy love.
Yeah.
You can't.
I said that recently to somebody. I was like, some rich thing that I read where they're just like buying so much stuff, and I was like, it's like it won't matter how many things they buy. Those like you can never buy that happiness you're looking for. I guarantee it.
Yeah,
Like
you'll
you can't.
because if you have like a bunch of toys, say you were a kid and you bought like 10 different sets of Lego stuff or whatever, you're only opening up one set at a time. All those other things get neglected.
I almost never buy things
You know.
because I like want to. I might try to weasel some things like, oh, I could use this. This might become important later, so I better get this now.
I
But
kind of do that
I
too
rarely
myself,
want to buy
actually.
something like I've never bought shoes that are really expensive because I'm like, oh, I really like that. I'm not judging anybody for what they want to do, but it's just
I
like,
bought shoes that were functional and either tough or dependable based upon the situation I'm
like
using it for.
I'll never get scammed on, I mean, maybe somebody can hack you, but I'm saying like I'll never get scammed because like,
But
me
that's what
having
I'm
to give
saying, man.
any kind of banking stuff, like that sounds like you want to make me spend money.
With this whole system we
Hell
have,
no.
though, man, with this whole system we have, though, it's based upon somebody else making money off of you. But a lot of people don't see it that way. And I think the fact is we all have to start seeing it that way more and more. And the fact is, we all do want to make something of ourselves, and we all do want to be able to survive in life. Some people more than others, and some people maybe less than others. But I think the fact is, if we can come to a way of understanding to set aside, if we're a part of a corporation, to set aside an allocation of money for the business of the people themselves to keep that gear moving, it could keep them going forward. Instead of the person saving all the money for themselves and going bankrupt and going, fuck everybody, you're all fired. Or like what happened in Wisconsin with Golden Guernsey, good example of this, actually. Golden Guernsey sold their company to California Cows for the milk product and all that, because Golden Guernsey was selling milk from cows and all that. And guess what? Guess what California Cows does? Shut it down. They shut down all the plants in Wisconsin that was with Golden Guernsey. All those people out of work. Just because some rich asshole at the top of California Cows was like, ha ha, we destroyed our competition. Just like that. And one seriously strategic, bold move. Now, that has to go. That's got to go.
And then when the inflation comes, they can either sell it back to somebody who has like extra wealth money. You could always make the money right back and sell it, or you can just take it yourself and, if you have excess.
I'm just saying this excess of, and what you're saying is right. This excess has to go. We have to come to a point that we're giving an allocation to the people of the place, because these big corporate people that are living out of the country.
I've already said it
They're
before.
they're not even in this country. They're living in some other countries. They have a residency here. They have a residency there. They don't even care. But
Right,
the
but I
people
said it
living
before.
here, working here,
Why do we have any money in general? Like, all right, think about it.
it's a value system.
But
That's all it
think about
is.
it.
It's a value.
First off, the average person needs to go and eat. So, okay, I guarantee you, maybe people might buy a little bit more frozen lobster. You know, if you can just have whatever you want, you can just steal a little more. But eventually, people will just start to be like, you know, I like chicken and lobster. Maybe that eventually you won't even see it in stores anymore. Places will be like, I can't, you know, send it. You can get two because that's all that we can find for it. Eventually, it'll all become chicken. Because that's what I'm saying. You give everybody whatever
chicken
they
of the
want.
sea.
You know what I mean? Like, first off, if you can give, not every grocery store has, you know, bluefin tuna. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you got the yellowfin, sure, but I'm saying, like, why do we have any money for anything? I see so much stuff go expired in so many stores, and you think, is that because someone felt like they couldn't afford it? It just goes in the trash
The problem
because
is,
somebody couldn't afford it.
the problem is that I see it, and I think we should close up here because we're already a little past 30. But the problem that I see is nothing against, you know, and I think we had a great conversation, but what I want to say is that in the past, everybody was starving. You know, we were always talking about growing up, starving children in Africa, and there's no food and all that. Now with America, we have this excess of extra food. Everybody is way more than they should be. You know, nobody's starving. It's just we have ridiculous amounts of extra calories that aren't even all that healthy for us, honestly, compared to what we used to have. It's just
But
what we've done is we're like, oh, we're at such, we need to help these, and we're up, you know, we're all the way up here. Now we have to find a way to scavenge our way back to kind of a middle ground to the point where we're like, okay.
I know this is going to get possibly long, but let me just say this then. But that's what I'm trying to say, that you can't expect the government to make policies that'll change that.
That's what I'm trying to say.
It requires people.
Yes.
Look,
yes.
you could make, all right. For instance, throwing about old moldy bread needs to get tossed. It's not healthy anymore to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's wrong with making the extra bread and throwing it out. That's not a problem because that will decompose and you can make it again. It's actually good for the soil. You've now created good moldy soil for
put it in a garden.
Yeah, exactly. You've created compost.
I've seen people put fish heads and put fish material in gardens, and it grows.
It's in plastic bags. And then the plastic bags don't decompose, and you never open up those plastic bags, in which case the bread stays at this weird stage.
We need to go back to glass. I'm saying we need to go back to glass.
Which is what I'm saying that I originally want to say in the other episode about.
You can reform it.
Things should start being proud of the idea that's like this bag is not only biodegradable, but it's guaranteed within 1 month, gone. And people should be like, I want to buy from them just because I know I could crumple up that bag and bury it. And
then what? You paused out on me, man. You paused out on me. Oh my god.
Flour there. You know, like it's gonna grow back. Yeah, you froze on me on too. Yeah. My internet connection's unstable. No,
all right, we'll close this up real fast. We'll
where did I cut off about? I was just saying, like, you should be able to be proud of like putting that
plant the plastic bag and
you know, and then grow a flower can grow. You know, like I mean, you know, plant it. You should be able to be like that. Like, oh, my potato chip bags. I know, and even your trash bags. Your trash bag should be like, this trash bag is guaranteed to you know, and by like,
you know what that would be perfect if the actual bag, like the potato chip bag, biodegraded just a month after the chips were going bad. And
that's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't rotate your stock, it's going to be a mess on your hands because it's going to gain moisture. It's going to start to gain more moisture now because the wax is like, you know, thinned out enough or something like that, or you know.
All right. So
Whatever.
is that all? Is that what you wanted to?
We talk about it again later. Or something.
Okay, we'll talk about it again later. All right. So thanks everybody for coming by. We'll see you in the next episode. Definitely do one of these. Help the channel grow. We're gonna be new on. Well, we'll be new on YouTube here. So I want to say thank you for all those that are watching. And
Go on YouTube.
what?
And this go on YouTube.
Oh, this is going on YouTube. Yeah, it's going on YouTube.
And we're back.
Hopefully the quality is okay because I put this down to
Didn't I like
480.
specifically tell China like no in Taiwan and all that?
I don't really care what they think. Honestly, I'm American. It doesn't matter.
We should make it.
You're American. Ah! I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I'm an American. America.
Yeah.
Team America.
Arrest Alec Baldwin.
Fuck yeah.
Arrest that man. Arrest Alec Baldwin.
Here to save the motherfucking
That was one of the
day.
original things I
Yeah.
was talking about.
Actually, in
talking
Team
about with,
America,
wordplay.
they kill him in Team America, don't they? Because he's the bad guy.
Who, Alec Baldwin?
He's a part of the FAG group.
Oh yeah, yeah, he is.
Yeah. Famous Actors Guild or what? I think that part of
No, but that's what I'm saying though. You know, that's a perfect example of wordplay. The man shot and pulled the trigger and shot somebody, not in jail because we were comparing.
'Cause he's
it to, like,
famous.
a Game of Clue.
He's famous, so it's okay. If you're famous, you can kill anybody you want, and you can
We
blame
solved the
somebody
mystery.
else.
It was Alec Baldwin with the gun on the set.
Okay, thanks
There's no,
everybody
like,
for
secret
tuning
Game
in.
of Clue.
We'll
Rest that man.
we will see you later. Thanks for enjoying, and good night.
Get you later.